Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another Fraser Public Library activity tutorial. So today we're going to be making Genie Bangles. All right, so what that is, it's like a bracelet or like an upper arm cuff that genies wear. Now, for our Genie Bangles, you're going to need a few things that you should probably have at home. So we're going to need a tube. In this case, I'm using a Pringles can. If you don't have a Pringles can, you can always use a paper towel tube or a toilet paper tube. I happen to like the Pringles can because it's a little bit stiffer. It gives me a little bit more shape to my bangle. Plus, I'm going to be painting it, and I want it to hold up to that painting. So I use Pringles. You could also use anything you have at home that is a tube shape, as long as you can cut it with a pair of scissors. So you're also going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a paintbrush, paint. So this is bright gold Craft Smart paint or any other gold paint. Most Genie Bangles are gold, so you're going to want something gold, something to put your paint on. A cup with some water. And I always like to have paper towels on hand anytime I'm painting something, just in case. You're going to want a ruler and something to mark with. This is to mark on our tube. Okay, I have a Sharpie. If you don't want to use a Sharpie, you can use a pencil, a pen, whatever you happen to have on hand. You're going to need things to decorate your bangle with. So I just grabbed some stuff that I had at the library. So I have like seashells, foam shapes, beans, like dried beans. I've also got beads. So these are little star-shaped beads. And then I'm also going to add some jewels on afterwards to make it a little more blingy. So these are going to be after I'm done. All right, so I'm going to set those aside so I don't mix those up. But you can also use dried pasta or any other things that you have on hand that have a funky shape to them. Because this is going to be painted over with the gold paint, it doesn't need to be a consistent color. It can be whatever you have on hand that you want to decorate your bangle with. And you're going to need some form of glue. In this case, I have hot glue. If you don't have hot glue on hand, you can use Elmer's glue. It'll work just fine. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. If you do have hot glue, make sure you talk to mom and dad before using it, because it can get very hot depending on the variety of hot glue you have. Or ask mom and dad for help. All of the above works. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're actually going to mark on your tube how wide you want your bangle to be. How wide you want your bracelet to be. In this case, I marked 3 inches on my tube, which actually I think might be a little bit too much. 3 inches is pretty big. But that's okay. I'll just make it super wide. You could always do 2 inches if you want, which actually I might just mark 2 inches because that might be better. And what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to mark all the way around your tube. Now you want to mark all the way around your tube because you're going to want to cut out your bangle. So you want to have enough marks so that when you're cutting, you don't accidentally go offline and make it all crooked and weird and wonky. Now, if you want a wonky bangle, go ahead. Personally, I don't. I also drew a line on my can because that is the line I'm going to cut down. So I'm going to make a line so that it's easier to get on and off. So that makes it a little easier. So then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut out your bangle. Hard with the scissors. Ah! Okay, I got it. And again, this is why I wanted the Pringles can, because I knew it had more structure to it. See? A little bit thicker. All right, and then I'm actually going to, I'm gonna make that prettier on the end, but I'm going to cut off the rim, this silver piece, because it's a little bit thicker and I don't really want it because it doesn't match the other side of my bangle. So I'm going to cut that guy off, which it actually isn't all that hard to do. All right. And then, because this is going to be something I'm going to wear, I'm going to make my corners rounded so it doesn't poke into my wrist when I'm wearing it. So I'm just going to round my corners a little bit so that I'm not poking myself all the time with my pretty bangle. This is purely optional. You do not have to do this part. I just know myself and I know that I'm going to poke myself. So I decided it would probably be a good idea to do it. All right, so now that I have my bangle cut out, feel free and cut out as many as you want to. Obviously, I have a whole bunch of can left that I can do that with. And I might cut out another one in a little bit, but for right now, we're going to work with the one I have. All right, so now what you're gonna do, let me set aside my garbage, is you're going to decorate your bangle with the things that you happen to have on hand. So I've got shapes, I've got like foam shapes, and I've got seashells. So I think I'm going to put some circles. Might need to get out some more foam shapes. Some small circles, like on either side, kind of like that. And then maybe a seashell or a bean. Would a bean look better? Oh, I could do a line of beans. That would be kind of cool. Do a line with my beans. So you're going to decorate your bangle however you would like to. Feel free and make it as full as you want to or not as you want to. It depends on what you want to do with it. In this case, I know I want to add some jewels afterwards, so I want to leave enough space for my jewels. So I want to make sure that there's plenty of space to add my jewels once I'm done. All right, so I'm going to pause really quick while I decorate. All right, so I have all of my pieces on here. I kind of kept it a little simple so that I can put some jewels on afterwards. But now that it's all glued down, and I did use hot glue, so if you're going to use hot glue at home, make sure you ask mom and dad so that this is done. All right, now the next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to paint our bangle. All right, so we're going to put some paint on our thing, and we're going to paint this so that it covers up all of the colors. Now this may take a couple of coats of paint to make sure that you're covering up everything, because this is not very, at least my paint is not very thick paint. But this will take probably a couple of coats to do. So I'm going to paint this, and then I'm going to pause and let it dry. See, mine is pretty thin paint. So you can always get thicker paint if you so desire. I just happen to have this on hand, so it was easier for me to just use this. All right, so now that I've got one coat pretty much done, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I will come back to you once it's dry. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Hi again, everybody. So I'm going to show you the last part of our Genie Bangles. Now, I actually had to wait overnight for my paint to dry because I had to do so many layers of paint because it was kind of see-through. So I'm going to show you the last part, which is decorating the last little bit of your bracelet or bangle if you so desire. So I just added some jewels to this one, and I'm going to add some jewels to my other one. So I actually made 2 of them because I had some spare time while I was waiting for it to dry. So I picked out some sparkly jewels, and I'm going to use the hot glue gun to glue them onto my bangle. I've already got one done, so I'm just going to follow the same procedure, and I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to the jewel. Just make sure if you're using a hot glue gun, you've got permission from mom and dad, or mom and dad are helping you, because it can be very, very warm depending on the hot glue that you're using. Mine is a low temperature hot glue, so even though it can still hurt, it's not going to seriously burn me. If you do a high temp hot glue, it could actually cause burns. So be very careful when you're using a hot glue gun. I'm just putting a little tiny bit of glue on there. It's more just to make sure that they stay in place. And unfortunately, anytime you use hot glue, I'm sure you're used to the little tiny strings of plastic that you get, because hot glue is plastic. All right, so I've got 2 jewels on the end of my bangle, and so I'm going to just finish by putting the other 3 on there. Okay, I did glue on the top. I wanted a variety of different shapes because I like different shapes, because it makes it look like you use different types of jewels when you're doing stuff like this. So I went for 3 different shapes. I have a teardrop shape, I have a circle, and I have a square that I'm actually going to turn into more of a diamond, because you can by putting it on its side. All right, there's that one. 2 more to go. And then I'm going to be done and I can wear them and you can see what they look like. So 1. Go there. And it helps to put just a little tiny bit of the hot glue, because then if you need to smush it up into a better position, you can, and you're not going to have a whole bunch of hot glue go seeping out the side. That's never fun. And then you go on your side like that. Okay. Oh, stuck to my finger. Like that. All right. So there's my bangle. So to put on your Genie bangle, all you're going to do, this is why we cut a hole in the side. You're just going to put it on. Look at that. I'm a genie. This is so cool. All right. There you go. Now you've got some Genie bangles. Feel free and wear them on your upper arm too if you want to, but I want to see all of your bangles, so make sure you take pictures and post them, because I am super, super curious to see how you decorated yours. Everybody have a great rest of your day and join us for some more tutorials. Bye.